Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara, or Lara Likes Mascara. I recently changed my hair in case you haven't seen it. Since then, still getting used to it. I also recently got TikTok. Let me show you. This is my account. Very exciting. Not buy makeup for the next 6 months. I announced that I'm starting a makeup no buy over there, and I also did in my last video. Anyways, just providing a bunch of updates in case you missed any videos. But if you're curious about my upcoming no buy, which I will be doing from July 1st to the end of the year, then you can check out my most recent video here. I hope you will join me. I am excited to embark on another no buy. I feel like it's been a while. I've sort of fallen off the game because I brought a lot of new things into my makeup collection recently, which I've also talked about in videos. But enough of this chitter chatter. Let's talk about all of my recent empties and declutters, because I am so happy about all of these things. I actually have a lot of stuff that I've decluttered and a lot that I have panned. That's great news for my project pan as well, because in the previous update I hadn't finished anything, but this time I've got a lot of stuff. I did mention that in my recent project pan video, but today I'm going to talk about everything in depth. A little while ago, I think it was probably like 2 months ago, to be honest, a friend decluttered a whole bunch of makeup to me. Most of this was stuff she had never used or only used once, and then there was a couple of things that she had used quite a bit. But I basically accepted everything, and then I said, you know, later I will decide how many of these items I want to keep, and I have finally made that decision. And the majority of things I'm not keeping, so I'm really proud about that. But let's first talk about the projects that I have finished first, and then we can move on to all the products that I have decluttered. Oh my god, there's just so many. It's overwhelming. I'll talk about this because I just decided that this was done this morning. I went to apply it to my skin to prepare for filming today. I gave it a sniff and I decided, you know what? I can't put that on my face. It has slowly been smelling worse and worse. This is the Maybelline Dream BB Pure Skin Mattifying Beauty Balm. Shauna actually decluttered this to me. And I think because it was smelling worse, like very, very slowly, so I sort of convinced myself that like, oh, it had just always smelled like this. It had kind of always had a scent. But no, I think it just changed over time. And I am finally at the point where like there's not that much product left. I've already opened it. I think it's okay for me to say goodbye to this. I don't want to risk my skin. I have been going through some breakouts lately, so whatever I can do to sort of keep that at bay. I will show you how much is left, because it's probably about 2 more uses, maybe 3 more. I mean, when I opened it, I was like, oh, there's maybe like 2 or 3 more uses max that I could get out of this. And no, that was like over a week ago that I did this, and I've still been using it every time. So that is what is left. I'm calling this done because it is mostly done. I did cut into it. I enjoyed this product. Maybelline is not cruelty free, so I would not repurchase it, but I think that this was a good beauty balm. Like, it was fairly light coverage. It was able to be built up, so I like that. And when I was buying a new product to sort of replace this, that was kind of what I was looking for. Something that was light, more of a beauty balm or a tint. So thank you, Shauna, for this. I've finally finished it. I'm very excited. My foundation collection is very healthy. Yeah, just glad to get this out and start on a new product. Let's stick with that skin theme. So I also have this foundation stick from Merit. The writing did rub off. This was in the shade Dune. And look at this. I finished it off and then I depotted the product that was left, and there was a lot of product left. Like, you can see that goes fairly deep, and the product itself was probably only like this much. So I would say a good third of it was in there, which just sucks because it's a lot harder to use when it's not in a foundation stick. Like, I just wish there was some way around this kind of issue where you have a lot of product left that you can't access, or if you do access it, it's more difficult. Anyways, I love this. This was sent to me by Merit, so if they wanted to send me another one, I would not be opposed. I would be absolutely thrilled. I do not think that it is worth the cost. I think it's around $50 for the Merit stick is 0.13 ounces. This Maybelline foundation is 1.5 fluid ounces. 0.13 ounces, not 0.3. So it's not that it's a third of the size of this. It is like an eighth or something. It's just a fraction of the size. Lovely, not worth the price. Would I accept in PR? Yes. So I'm still working through the product that I have depotted, but I'm just considering this product itself as being done. As you can see, I got through a lot of skin products lately. I don't know why they all finished around the same time, but whatever. I'm just happy that they are done. I got this, by the way, I think it was late 2021. So I'd had this a year and a half, and I think the recommended amount of time is 12 months. So it did go over that 12-month period. I didn't notice any changes in the scent, in the texture. So this was still good to use for a year and a half. But I did want to get it out, not reach that 2-year point. Okay, another skin product. This is the concealer from ColourPop, pretty fresh, in light 45W. This was also decluttered to me from Shauna. And as you can see, I removed the stopper. I actually included that in a video. I did like a makeup chores video that you can watch. And as you can see, it is entirely finished. I was really using this up to the last drop, and like, look at that. There's just nothing left. So very pleased to have finished that off. I do have a new foundation and a new concealer waiting for me to use them, which I have been waiting for a long time. I picked those up during the Sephora sale, so it has been literal months. But yes, finished those 3 complexion products. So I just have a couple more empties. Also very exciting, this is the Naturelux Water Resistant Mascara from CoverGirl that I've been using as a brow gel for the past, I think about 8 months now, because I had another one of these that I finished first. And I probably could have given this another couple days, another week or two. If I rub the brush around, I'm sure, yeah, it's black. Like there's still product in there, but I was just so done with it. It smells kind of funny. It's a black color, and I have moved on from the very dark, very bold brows. I'm actually doing them a little bit sort of orangey now to match my hair. I mean, that's temporary, but I am still into the lighter brow look at the moment. So I just decided that this was time. I revived it enough times with contact solution. I really gave it my best shot. It was just time to say goodbye to this. So another very exciting product that I finished this month. The next one is an eyeliner. So you probably saw this happen if you watch my videos, because basically I was twisting it up to prove a point that like it was broken or there was something wrong with it. I would finish it, I would like use it, and it would seem like, oh, it's finished, and then I would twist it up and there would be more product. So I was just very confused, and I was trying to prove that on camera, and it broke. Shortly after that, because I was only able to use it a little bit longer after it broke, I realized that there was nothing more I could use. I really did like this eyeliner. This was from CoverGirl. It was the Perfect Point Plus. I can't see the writing anymore because it has faded off. This lasted very well, better than some of my other brown eyeliners. I still don't think it was great. I think there are definitely better eyeliners out there, but I will try to get through my other brown eyeliners first before repurchasing a new one. Either way, I'm glad to have that out because I have way too many eyeliners in my collection, and I pretty much only gravitate to the same 2 or 3. Okay, now this is the last product that I would consider having panned it as an empty rather than a declutter, but maybe it kind of is a declutter. I don't know. You let me know. This is the ColourPop Cuteologist Super Shock Shadow. This has entirely dried up. I tried everything I could. This has been in a lot of project pans. You still get a tiny bit of product when I'm like really, really rubbing in there. I feel like with so many of these things, I'm trying to justify getting rid of them. Being like, I tried, I got it open, I added contact solution, I tried to reformulate it, but it's time to give it away. Like, most people wouldn't even go through this. If something dries up, they're getting rid of it. Like, that is it. End of story. They're not trying to do everything they can to make it work. I know I go a little bit too far, but I feel like I need to give every product the best opportunity to perform. Anyways, I'm just happy that I finally decided that it's time to let this go. I had a good run with it. I really enjoyed it. I love the red on my eyes. This was the first red eyeshadow I ever used, and it was before I'd ever tried like orange or yellow, so it really got me out of my comfort zone and I think made me more comfortable with wearing those warm shades, which I really prefer now. You can see I'm wearing a red eyeliner today. It's my first time wearing only this eyeliner. I've tried it in combination with like a black and other things so far, but if not for this, I would not be wearing this right now. I would not have purchased it. So thank you to this ColourPop eyeshadow. You have served me well. I am glad to have had you, but it is time to say goodbye. Thank you. What an ode to an eyeshadow. Okay, now on to potentially the more fun stuff, decluttering. So all of these products are actually declutters from my friend that she passed on to me. None of these are things that I already had in my makeup collection. They may not be familiar to you, but I still think it's almost as difficult for me to part with something that has just joined my collection rather than something that is older. So let's talk about the eyeshadows first, because there are two eyeshadow palettes, and one of these I did consider keeping. It is this PYT Beauty, the Upcycle eyeshadow. There is one shade in here that is just beautiful. Can you guess which one? It is this pink one. I'm gonna swatch the two sparkly shades, not the other two, because I think that would disrupt the shadows and I want it to look, you know, nice and new, because I only used this the one time. So just a really nice light shimmer, nothing over the top, something that can be combined with other eyeshadows to like add more sparkle. So I think this would be useful in my collection, but I just don't think that I would reach for it that much. I do have other shimmers and I actually don't really prefer shimmers. Most of the time I do prefer a matte look. So if this pink one, if that was a single eyeshadow, I would be keeping it for sure. But I'm just not going to get use out of the other three eyeshadows, and to me that is not worth keeping. So I'm going to pass this one on. The next one is a much larger palette. This is the Tarte, is this the Amazonian Clay eyeshadow palette? Yeah, so this is a classic. I mean, I remember my friend using this. We lived together in undergrad for a couple years, and I remember her using it then when, like on going out nights, this was her go-to eyeshadow palette. So many shades, but if you know my taste looking at this, you're probably like, you would not wear any of those shades, and you are correct. In undergrad, I loved purples and browns, and now I do not wear the tones that I used to at all. So this would have been perfect for me back in the day, but now, not so much. I think I did try it once. I did try to make a look, and I just wasn't enjoying it, so I am saying goodbye. This one was not a difficult decision for me. Do you still have this eyeshadow palette though? Do you remember it? Let me know. So the rest of the products she decluttered to me are all lip products, and it's funny because I posted a reel showing all of these things on Instagram, and it just so happened that all of the products people told me to keep, those are the ones that I decluttered. Like, no one wanted me to keep the items that I actually like. I didn't take that into account, but that's probably a good thing. It shows that despite, you know, someone being like, you need to keep cashew, it is the best thing ever. I was like, maybe it's a holy grail for some people, maybe it's a cult favorite, but for me, it just doesn't work. So this first one is Bite Cashew. I have definitely heard about this before. I think Shauna or maybe Rebecca Morgan or maybe both have it. And when I look at it on my skin, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty nice. It's like a light nude, kind of similar to my Charlotte Tilbury lipstick that I love so much, but on my lips it's just not the right color at all. I also don't like the formula of this for whatever reason. It's just like too thick and textured or something. So yeah, I used this a few times and every time I was like, I don't like this. Regardless of what makeup look I was wearing, I did not like it. So I decided to try to pass this on if I can. Still a lot of product left. This is a mini, so it would be feasible for me to finish up, but I have so many lip products in my collection. You know, that is the main reason that I'm not keeping anything that I know that I don't love. This one is from Clinique. This is another mini, and I think she hadn't used this at all. I did use it once or twice, but you can tell it's like pretty much untouched. And this is in the shade Bare Pot. I will swatch it for you now. I think when I used all of these, I didn't put them directly on my lips because I wasn't sure if I was keeping them. I would like swatch them on my hand and then use them. So again, a nice nude but just not for me. And also, I don't know if you can tell, but there's like little sparkles in there, like glittery pieces. I want none of that on my lips. So passing that along as well. Maybe Shauna is watching this and she likes some of these. Please let me know if you want any of these, because I'm just always so overwhelmed by the number of things that I'm trying to get rid of in my life. Not just makeup, but like random house stuff, clothing. Behind my couch is just like a cave of things that need to leave. My partner is very annoyed by it. Also included in there is all of my makeup empties and declutters and like skincare and hair care stuff from the entire year, because I like to see that in full before I get rid of it. So all of these things that I have finished are going to stay in my apartment until the end of the year. But yeah, that is just life. I'm actually hosting a clothing swap in a couple of weeks, so hopefully I can get rid of some of that clothing, but I highly recommend you do that. Also, a makeup swap would be a good idea. Maybe I'll put some of these things out for my friends and be like, do you guys want these? That, I hadn't thought of that. That's a great idea. Thank you so much for your contribution. Okay, this next one is from Rina Beauty. Rina Beauty, I actually had not heard of this brand. I think she said that she got it in like an Ipsy bag or something. So I did swatch this on my hand a couple times and then transfer it to my lips. And it is a nice shade. It's a little bit corally for me, but it just felt so thick on my lips. And you guys know I do not like lip gloss. So that was going to be a no from me, but no point keeping something that I know I don't like the color and I know I don't like the formula. Okay, last couple. This one I was tempted to keep just for the novelty of it. This is a Morphe product, which I have never tried anything from Morphe. It's not sold in any stores here in Canada that I have ever seen, and I'm just not someone who tends to buy stuff online that much. It's purple, like actually purple. You can see I didn't want to dirty up the lip too much because it is so clean. So whenever I extract it, I'm so careful. Ooh, but yeah, I would just swatch this on my hand and then put it on my lips. Great color. Honestly, if that is a color that looks good on you and that you could pull off, go for it. I think that is so cool. However, I do not find that flattering on me, and I know I wouldn't reach for it. So this one is being passed on to someone else. What do you think of these colors? Which one suits me the best? Last couple. So these two are exactly the same shade and everything. Mary Kay Berry. Is Mary Kay an MLM? It's new. I think I swatched it a tiny bit, but she also passed on a couple of other lip liners to me from NYX. I really like NYX lip liners. They're all dark, which I don't really wear dark lips, but I just love the NYX lip liner so much. And someone commented recently that I can use them as eyeliner, so I'm gonna try doing that. Let me swatch it very lightly. Again, I don't want to like ruin this for someone else. It's not as dark as I was expecting. It's still like a berry color. It's not a nude. So maybe I'll look it up just to make sure that this is not a color that I would like, but it looks very dark. And I also don't need more lip products in my collection. I've said this so many times, but it remains a fact. This last one is just a little lip brush from Mary Kay. I don't use lip brushes, so I'm going to pass that on. But those are all of the products that she decluttered to me that I am decluttering on. I have a couple more products that I have finished from like skincare and hair care, so let's discuss those. Let's talk moisturizers. I have two of those. So this is the Pacifica Dreamy Youth Day and Night Face Cream. I have owned this before. I'm also currently using this. Like I have two of them. I really enjoy it. I still love Pacifica, but one thing is I wish their products were larger. This is only 50 milliliters, and I just feel like a moisturizer should be 100 milliliters, okay? So when I get through the one that I'm currently working on, I'm probably gonna repurchase the Ordinary because that one is 100 milliliters, and I just feel like it lasts so much longer. This one also comes in some like kind of bulky packaging, like a box that's quite a bit bigger, so it makes it look like it's a large moisturizer, but it's really not. I do really enjoy this. I would recommend it. I've gone through quite a few, and I probably will in future. I just wish there were bigger sizes available. Next is a body moisturizer, and this comes in two parts because I depotted this into another container, and then I finished that other container. Little pat on the back. I just finished it yesterday, actually. This was in my project pan. It is the Golden Apple Shimmer Lotion from The Body Shop. I had had this for far too long. It was so scented that the scent was starting to change a little bit. Wow, it's still so fragrant, even though I washed this out so many times. And then I depotted it into this and I finished it there because it was just so much easier to get it out like this. So I used this on my legs. Didn't love it, but just happy to have gotten it out because this is large. Like, you know, it took a long time. Just a couple more products. I have a deodorant. This is Tom's long-lasting women's deodorant, natural odor protection. Beautiful Earth. I think Beautiful Earth is the scent. I really, really like this. Yeah, really nice scent. It is a bit smaller than a regular deodorant. It is 64 grams. It's aluminum free, cruelty free, everything. I definitely would repurchase this in the future. I am going to run out of deodorant sometime soon and I need to figure out what to move on to next. Now, I have heard a lot about natural deodorants, both pro and con. This actually did not seem that different than like your regular Dove deodorant to me. So I would recommend it if you prefer one of those like classic types. I have tried a natural deodorant that I hated, and that was very different from this. So there are some good natural deodorants out there. I haven't tried Native, but I think that this was a good comparison. And then I also have this sunscreen, SPF 30, Be Better. This expired a long time ago, and I wasn't actually sure if it was working. I would only use this on runs early in the morning when, you know, the sun isn't that bad and I'm mostly in the shade anyways, and I just kind of wanted to get this used up. This was fine. I don't know, I probably wouldn't repurchase. I think it makes more sense to get larger sunscreens, just larger containers of everything in general. I think that's my point. Ooh, I've got a lot of stuff here. This is the very last product. This is the Burt's Bees Complete Multi-Care Natural Peppermint Fluoride Anti-Cavity Toothpaste. Highly recommend. Really like this. Really like all of the Burt's Bees toothpastes. It's cruelty free. It does have fluoride. So yeah, that is it. Oh man, I got tuckered out by the time we were finished. Just the makeup, and then I had to move on to all this other stuff. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really proud of myself for decluttering all of the products that I did from my friend. That was tough, but I feel like I've made the right decisions. So let's talk about a book that I have been reading lately. So I'm currently reading Page Boy by Elliot Page. This is one that I was super excited for. Usually I just work through my library holds list in order of like what is expiring first, if that makes sense. So what I put on hold 2 years ago, that's my first priority. The oldest stuff first, but this just came out June 2023, as you can see. And I was like, I just need to read it as soon as possible because I love him. I was so excited when this was announced. So if you're not familiar with Elliot, he was an actor. He's Canadian from Nova Scotia, and he grew up in Hollywood, not doing well. I mean, who grows up like mentally healthy in Hollywood? I've read a couple of memoirs this past year of like child actors, and it just sounds horrible. But anyways, he was in Juno, The Umbrella Academy, Inception. In 2014, he came out as gay, and in 2022, he came out as a trans man, and he wrote this memoir. I'm about halfway through. It's a really interesting style. It's almost like grammatically incorrect, but in a way that works for the text. He is a good writer. Like, he's great at conveying his emotions and what's going on, but this is heartbreaking to read because he just struggled so much. He was from a very like homophobic, closeted area, and so he could not come out to anyone, not even to his parents. And while he was growing up, and even when he was out to his close friends, he didn't feel like he could come out to like the wider public or to Hollywood. It just was not an option, and that led to so much self-hate. And it's just, some parts are really hard to get through because he was so tormented. I can't wait to get to the part when he is happier and he feels like he can open up and he can tell his truth. So I would highly recommend this. I'm really, I don't know if I would say enjoying it because it's tough, but it's great. Really recommend. I don't know how I forgot to mention, but Elliot Page also directed one of the films that inspired me to study documentary, like one of the most pivotal documentaries that I've ever seen. There's Something in the Water. It is about environmental racism in Nova Scotia. It is on Netflix, so here's a picture. Go watch it. It's incredible. Just super eye-opening. And I read the book that it was based on afterwards by Ingrid Waldron. Phenomenal. I hope he makes more films. I just had to say that. I also feel like, you know, in this time we're in the States, there is so much anti-LGBTQ legislation. Like, it is more important than ever that we support queer people and trans people and support their work and read books and watch movies about and by them. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I do these types of videos every 2 months where I talk about all of my makeup empties and declutters and all of my other product empties and declutters, just as a way to like keep on top of what is leaving my collection. But yeah, thanks for watching and I'll talk to you next week. Bye!